A lot of people say that being out in the great outdoors is one of the best cures for the mind, and I have a theory on that, and I think I know why, and I'm going to explain that to you later. In the meantime, I'm hammocking, and welcome to MAFT UK. I think it's been a year, but eventually I'm getting to use my coffee that was sent over from Idaho. Hiya Maria, and hiya Maria's family. That smells gorgeous. It smells very... I know it's called huckleberry, but it smells like berries. Might be out of here in the background, the National Trust working away. Got to remember I have permission to do what I'm doing here, so I'm not concerned in the slightest, but I am keeping my noise down, my profile down. I don't want to create issues. I don't want to advertise the fact that I'm here. I'm just here, and yes, I'm making cowboy coffee. Three. I also have with me, although it is out of date, because it's dried food, I don't care. I've left it a little bit too long to use it, but I'm going to try it tonight, which is my lumberjack soup. So that's what I'm having for my dinner. I've not eaten today yet, apart from a couple of chocolates still from holiday. Shouldn't be having them. I'm supposed to be sorting myself out this year. I'll tell you why later. I'll tell you I've got big plans for this year. There's a massive walk I'm going to do, and I'll explain a lot more later on when the sun goes down, which I've got for a couple hours yet. But yeah, this is Rice River Farms wild rice lumberjack soup, and there's all sorts in there, and I'm really looking forward to having this. I've just got to get my glasses on to read how to do it, but I'm going to have a coffee first, chill out, let the National Trust bug out, and then I'll get my dinner on. Am I going to have a fire? Maybe a little one, I don't know, it depends. There's plenty of deadfall. This wood has been devastated through the storms, but going back to what I originally said, which I haven't started yet, I'm loving it. It's only a short trip. I'm just doing a one-nighter, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's just fantastic. It's just great to be back into these woods again, and makes me feel alive again. So a bit more about that later. Am I getting any fishing in? Well, I'm hoping to get a couple of days in before I go back to work, so I'll come home and hopefully go fishing. I need to get paid first because I'm absolutely broke. I'm on the bones of my ass right now. Christmas is taking its toll on me. But yeah, if I get paid tomorrow morning. I'll go home tomorrow. I might pack my kit tomorrow and do a couple of nights at Clearwater, or may even go to Clearbarrow. I don't know yet. I've got to renew my membership for Clearbarrow later. But yeah, it's I'm going to try and get as much as I can with the time that I've got left. I did promise myself I would. It all depends on whether my darling wife lets me, to be fair, but she's back at work now, so it makes no difference whether I'm home or not. Anyway, I'll catch up with you later. I've just tried this, so I know exactly what it tastes like, and I'm going to be honest with you. That's like drinking blueberry muffin coffee. It's lovely. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, it's like going to Costa, getting one of them blueberry muffins and having a cup of coffee with it, all in the same cup. It's amazing. Oh yeah. I'm really pleased about that, because you never know, do you? Blueberry coffee. What a surprise. I had no idea. I know it said huckleberry on the thing, but I didn't realise it was actually berry flavoured. But when I opened it and I could smell the aroma, I thought, that's going to be good. And it is. So firstly, welcome back to MAFT UK, and yes, I am enjoying myself by my little fire. I started the video with saying there's a reason that I think that people enjoy being out in the countryside so much. And it's a theory that it's not a new theory, it's pretty basic if you ask me. And it's how I understand it. And you've got to go back many, many years. And I'm talking from the beginning of time. I mean, the Earth is sort of like 45 billion years old. And if you look at the 24-hour clock, we appeared on this planet around about 11:58. So just 2 minutes left of the clock till present day. So pretty much late on. However, that still equates to 600,000 years from what would be the first, what we would consider a man or human, to, as we know him today, to the Neanderthals getting kicked out around about 200,000 years ago, and then we have what we would call the modern man. Now the dates are suggestible. I mean, they are people that would argue that it was between such and such a date, but I'm just being very, very basic. Now, 200,000 years we have been living mostly under the stars, using fire, just like that one, and basically doing what I'm doing now, but not quite as comfortable. And I say that because I've got my -15 top quilt, my -15 under quilt, my hammock, so I'm not going to be cold. It's about -1 at the moment. There's planned for about -2 tonight altogether in this area. -1 down in Coniston. I'd say drop another degree up about where I am. So we've been outside quite a lot. And that's embedded into our genes, that's embedded into our DNA and how we focus and how we function as human beings, because we've been doing it for so long, for at least 200,000 years. But that depends on who you speak to, because they reckon that there's civilizations that go back 10,000 years. Now, if you're a religious person, you will be disagreeing with me straight away, because as far as you're concerned, the Earth was only formed 6,000 years ago. Well, that's entirely what you believe, what you want to believe. Just can't see it myself, but that's how it's supposed to be. So, moving on. 600,000 years, 200,000 years, last 2,000 years, BC, you've got your Iron Age, well, you've got your Stone Age, you've got your Iron Age, you've got your Bronze Age, and then it works down from there somewhere around Anglo-Saxons, or was it Romans? Then you go into the Dark Ages, and then we start the medieval period, and then we come into the Tudors, the up to present day. You get the drift, don't you? And all that time we have spent, most of us, outside. Now cities obviously were formed, and we were started to fall by rules and regulations, and we had to do as we were told, and we moved into larger groups as opposed to villages. Villages turned into towns, towns turned into cities, and that's how it goes. So there's just been this huge development over the last couple of thousand years where this civilization is more inclined to be together, and because of that we have to create rules. And whether you consider the rules that were created being the 10 Commandments by either a human being or by celestial gods, that's entirely up to you. But my point being is that ever since then, this is what we've done. And every time I come out, and every time I come into the woods, and every time I come and light a fire and put my bivvy up, or even just go fishing, to be honest with you, as long as I'm outdoors under the stars, I feel more relaxed, I feel more at home, it feels like where I belong. And I think that's purely and simply down to the DNA that's inside of us. Now, not everybody gets that, and not everybody's lucky enough to have that feeling that once you're out and about, that you are part of something, not bigger, but something which is amazing. And it sort of calms you a little bit, it sort of calms you down. And all the hectic lives that we live, and I mean I'm on holiday and my phone's been ringing today because of work. Now, I answered the phone because that's what I do. I don't really have a choice, but some people do. And so the pressure's already there for me to come back to work and make sure everything's when as soon as I hit the ground again next week, that my feet are already running, so that when I do hit the ground, I can shoot off and carry on with the work that I'm doing. And we don't get the time to be out and relax because we're constantly under pressure from work, families. Money's a huge issue for everyone at the moment. I'm absolutely broke at the moment. Christmas has wiped me out completely. I can't wait for my wages to come in. But I think that's one of the problems that we have, and I think that's why that when people say if you are struggling with a little bit of mental health issue, or you've got issues that you need to get away from, and get yourself up a mountain, go for a walk, get outside, and it's one of the best things that you can do. And I believe that, and I think being out puts you more in touch with your ancestors and how they used to live, and doing what I'm doing now really makes me feel more relaxed. It's much more hard work. You never, that fire's dying down. I know it's dying down because I'm going to cook on it in a minute. I'm going to cook my tea. But it's one of those things that you have to do. It means you're constantly working. If you want to eat, you're going to have to go out and catch it. If you want to be warm, you're going to have to go out and cut it. And all those things, it keeps you busy, but you're not going to work. Life is work. And it's a different thing. And it's a different mindset altogether. And I think that's what it is. You might think I'm going a little deep with it, but at the end of the day, I've got to find a way for myself, cheers everyone, I've got to find a way for me to relax and be able to cope with the ins and outs of the daily routine, the work pressure, the home pressure, making sure my children are all right. And every now and again I get to get away. And not often now on my own. I've got Dave, who I miss. I miss Dave with me right now, because if I did, this fire would be 8 foot tall. But that's how I relax. And if you don't know how to relax, and if you're not quite sure what's right for you, then at least start by getting out, going for a walk, going somewhere you haven't been before, seeing something you haven't seen before. And that doesn't necessarily mean going abroad. And this country is amazing. It's an amazing country, and you don't really need to. You got to put up with the weather, but that's just the way it is. Like I said earlier, some people are lucky enough to be able to do what I'm doing and feel the way that I feel when I do it. Other people don't have that niche at all. They just see it as hard work, don't like monsters, don't like bugs, don't like anything creeping up on them in the middle of the night. And staying out in the woods on your own may seem like an amazing task, or something that's just too frightening for you. And I totally get it, it can be, but it's just your mind games. The only thing that's going to come and hurt me down here is a squirrel nibbling at me guide ropes, so that's the only thing that's going to happen, if it happens at all. So there you go, that's my theory. My theory is, it's simple. Get out. Go somewhere and see things that you've never seen before. We were very fortunate, Andy and I, last week to get up on top of Ben Nevis, and the skies cleared. I mean, 14 days in a year on average, the summit clears, and we just happened to hit one of those days. I consider myself an extremely lucky person, and Andy has fallen on his feet twice now, because we did Scarfell earlier in 21, and when we got to the top of that, it was as clear as a bell. We did Ben Nevis, and it's clear as a bell. So Andy's had it really lucky. So yeah, you may think I'm talking complete codswallop. That's absolutely fine. Oh, and by the way, Steve, absolutely no music on this video whatsoever. And if you're watching this one, Steve, there won't be any in the next fishing video. I've had a couple of complaints about the music on the videos, so I'll do a couple without, just to keep everybody happy, and then later on I'll put some music back in. I'm not saying I'm not going to, but I will keep it off for a couple of sessions, alright? In the meantime, the fire's getting ready for me to cook. It's time for me to do my soup, and cheers. Jeepers. If you're wondering what this is extremely strong cider that my son bought me for Christmas. 8.4%. It's harsh. But that's all I've got with me. I've got a few tins of this, and I've not brought anything else. So cheers, son. Thank you very much for this. I don't know why you think I needed 8.4% cider, but let's just say it helped me sleep. It's mean as a wasp. Right, oh, come on, come back, where are you? Right, it's not going to focus. Where are you? There is a light that's come across the sky. I thought it was a satellite, you know when you see the satellites? And it was moving and it sort of started to jolt a little bit. No, I can't see it now. Come on, where are you? Focus in. Find it, find it, find it, where are you? There we are. Yeah, that light there. I can't, it's behind the trees, it comes in and out of the trees, but it was moving backwards and forwards and then it's gone again. It's really weird. I'm hoping it come a bit closer so I can have a better look at it, but it was moving, now it's stopped. I know you can't see anything right now because it is there, just that the camera's not picking it up right now. So let's hopefully we can have a better look at it when it gets a bit closer. The only thing I can think it possibly could be is a helicopter, but I can't hear it yet. Despite the aliens hovering above me, my soup is starting to thicken. I may just have to pull that back slightly because I don't want it to cook too quick. It's got to simmer for quite a while. So I've just pulled it back a little bit. But when I dip the spoon in and taste the sauce, that is very, very nice, and I'm already looking forward to that. I've got to admit, I have never seen anything like that before. It's just, the camera just isn't picking it up because it's just like a star, but it's not. It's just hovering there now, and it's moved into place. Really, it's just like moving a little bit. Really bizarre. I can't wait till it gets closer. I have no idea what that is. I have never seen anything like that before. And you think I'm taking the mickey, but I'm not. I'm not. Because I genuinely do not know what that is. And normally, you can tell, can't you, whether it's a satellite, a plane, or something else. But nope, no idea what that is. No idea. Could be a drone for all I know. The aliens. It's Dave trying to find me. That's what it is. Well, it took over an hour to cook, but it's absolutely amazing. It's really salty as well. Glad I got a couple of beers to wash it down with. It's also very hot. Tremendous. Ouch. That was hot. Anyway, let me finish my dinner in peace. And we'll get back to some good old waffle. The light just went away. Don't know. Guess I'll never know. But, apparently I phoned the missus. What was supposed to be sleet tomorrow has now turned into snow. So depends on how early it comes in. Depends on what time I pack up, because I do not want to get stuck on these roads. Well, I'm not going to get any more timber. I'm not going to get any more logs or anything like that. Once that burns down, once I don't get any more heat from it, I'm going to turn into my toasty hammock. You probably can't see me in this shot. I'm here. But I'm just sat here, just looking up at the stars and the constellations. It's absolutely amazing. Very little ambient light around here, so you really get a good display at night of the stars in a good clear winter sky like tonight. So yeah, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Mind-bending too, aren't they? When you think about it. I did say I was going to talk about what my plans are for this year and this huge thing that I'm going to undertake. And what Andy, Dave and myself have decided that we would like to do is walk the Hadrian's Wall from start to finish. I think it's about 75 miles. And all in one go. So take a few days. We're not going to France this year. So we're going to take a week. That week, instead of going to France, we're going to go and do a long walk, and we're going to walk Hadrian's Wall. Why Hadrian's Wall, I hear you ask? And why not the coast to coast? Well, that purely and simply is because I'm a huge fan of the Romans, and I find their technologies and how they used to conduct themselves very fascinating, rightly or wrongly. I'm not defending the Romans, I just find them very, very fascinating and how advanced they were compared to the rest of the world at that time. So I love Hadrian's Wall, I love anything to do with Romans. So we're going to go walk the wall. Starts in Carlisle, ends in Newcastle. And it's something that I need to prepare for. I need to do a lot of fitness. And we'll probably do it later on in the year because I need as much time as possible, but I don't want to get too cold before we do it. And we'll walk west to east so the wind is in our backs most of the way. And that's what we're going to do. I know the Andy and Dave have signed up to it, so they're happy to do it. I'm going to organise everything, I'm going to jack everything up, and then we're going to go for it. So that's the big plan. That's what we're doing. I keep looking up because the stars are fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Got Ryan's belt just coming over in front of me now. If you're not sure which one Ryan's belt is, if you look up into the sky and you see something that looks like a Scotty dog, that's the Orion's belt. The long straight nose is the actual Orion, his actual belt itself. So I'm not massive in my astrology at all. I know bits. I can find the North Star, and I know certain constellations, and I have in the past used the stars to navigate to a location when I was in the TA, because we couldn't use any light, and that's a very true story. And if Phil McVan was watching this, and Jules, he would back me up, and they both say yes, we did use the stars to navigate and get into a location. So there you go. I do know a little bit about it, but not a lot. I guess I'm a master of nothing but jack of all trades, or is it jack of all trades, master of none? I guess that's how I would describe myself. Yeah. Be careful what you watch sometimes. These things do appear to be easy to do. They're not. This fire that I had later this evening, it's just dying down now. I'm down to the last few embers. I'm still keeping warm on it. But, you know, my traditional upside down fire, and if you don't know what an upside down fire is, then go back to my videos. Go look at my bushcraft videos. I call them bushcraft. They're more like bush mucking around. It's for me, it works every single time. But tonight, even with the bad weather that we've had, I got all my kindling together. National Trust lads were working up there. I made sure that it was gone before I lit the fire. I used my lighter, one light from the lighter, boom, and away I went. It was textbook stuff, but this time I didn't film it because there is so much of the same stuff when it comes to bushcraft. It's repetitive. You see a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again. And so it is probably one of the reasons I don't do as much as I used to, because the content that I do isn't really for everybody. I'm not teaching people. It's just me doing what I do. It's like when I go fishing. It's just me doing what I do. And it's not a lesson. It's just an experience that you're sharing with me. And that's all I can say it is. So I want to do more of this, but it's not easy. It's difficult to get away on your own. But anyway, I've been quite deep on this one, not a lot of jokes. In fact, none. Oh well, if you're still watching, thank you. I do appreciate it, I really do. It's time for me to finish my beer. It's time for me to make tracks, get into my hammock, and I'll do a last closure whilst I'm in the hammock, I think. Here I am in my hammock. Now, what you can't see is the gold underquilt under here, and then you can see the top quilt here. Now, this top quilt is 900 fill down, will take me down to -15, so I don't anticipate being cold at all this evening. But like anything, it's about practice. When it comes to hammocking, unfortunately you've got to have some really good gear to get it right. You don't have to spend the earth, but a great top quilt and a great underquilt is the key for hammocking, because that's the only things that are going to keep you warm. If you try to camp or sleep without an underquilt, you will get what's known as cold butt. Plenty of videos out there that will tell you about it. Even I've got some videos on hammocking that will explain a little bit more about cold butt syndrome and how this hammock's set up. But I'll show you in the morning how it's all done. But yeah, because I've not been out for a while, there is a good possibility that I may take a couple of times for me to get this right. So I'm going to turn the camera off, I'm going to go to sleep, and I should, all being well, have a really warm and comfy evening. So until then, bring on the snow. I don't mind a bit of snow. Ooh. It wasn't a terrific night's sleep, because I did have a cold spot and I had to get out and find the cold spot and adjust me quilts and everything. And I haven't slept in a hammock for quite a while, so it wasn't really a awesome night's sleep, but warm. Yes, it was very, very warm. When I finally adjusted everything and got everything right, the difference was amazing. It suddenly clicked into place and everything just went toast. And I am roasting in here right now, and I don't really want to get out, to be perfectly honest. It did snow this morning just before sunup, but it stopped and it's gone. So it's warmed up quite considerably. It went cold last night, and then I noticed it got warm again, and then it snowed. So there you go. Time for some breakfast. And I'm going to have some good old bacon grill. I haven't had that in years, but that's what I'm having. So I have to get out my pit, get motivated, get some food on, and there you go. So last night I hunkered down my hammock because I knew it was going to snow. They forecast it, so I dropped the wings down, or the porch down, to make the A-frame shape, just so I can knock the snow off as it falls. But fortunately for me, it didn't. If you don't know anything about hammocks, this is the first time you've seen one. I mean, a proper hammock, not one of these things you see on the comedy TVs where they fall out the hammock, so all the European style. It's a combination of slings, buckles and clips and all sorts that keep you up in the air. And if you want, I'll have a quick talk about those later, just so that you've got a better understanding of what it is I'm sleeping in. And I'll show you the quilts as well that you can't see. I'll do that when I'm packing down, so you have a better understanding. If it's snowing, I won't be so keen to do it, but as you can see, it's just started to snow again now. So let me get some warm clothes on, get a brew on. That's what I need to do. There's my area. I'm a bit more louder this morning because the National Trust boys aren't working here yet, and to be perfectly frank, if they turned up I wouldn't care to do two lessons anyhow. So there we are. Been here plenty of times before. But this is my wood. So, snow's coming down a bit more now. I've got my bacon grill on the go. If you've never heard of bacon grill, it's sort of a processed bacon. I don't know what else they throw in there to make it look very plasticky, but it is very basic stuff. The army used to put it in their rations, in their little tins, and you heat it up with water, you know, you boil it in the tin. The first type of boiling in the bags. And I still love it, and I still do, and every now and again I treat myself to some, like now. It's always better pan fried. Always tastes much nicer. It's very salty, but yeah, that's what you need. Something hearty like that. Goes great with eggs, sausage, beans. I haven't brought that. In fact, I'll probably have enough time to make a brew. The snow is starting to settle. Only just. It's only just settling. I don't want the roads to be suddenly closed off from me, so I'm not going to hang around too long. I wouldn't mind staying another night. I'd like to have seen how bad it got, the snow. I'd like to have camped out in it, but that's not the plan, unfortunately. So I'll have to go with plan A. So I'm hunkered down in me bivvy. No, I'm not. I'm hunkered down in me tent at the moment, or my tarp. I don't like being closed into my tarp. There's not a lot of room, but it's the only way you can keep out of the snow. Unlike my camera, which is getting snowed on. So I'm going to go. Anyway, I'll have my bacon grill, have a brew. And if it's still snowing, we'll pack up and get the hell out of here. Well, it's coming down a bit more now. I think it is really time to finish my blueberry brew and get the hell out of here. So I won't be showing you details of my gear, not just now, because I'm certainly not going to get it wet. And as you can see, the tarp is already starting to pick up snow again. So yeah, I think it's time to pack up and get. Ooh. Doesn't take long. Well, I usually say at this time that you can't see any trace of where I've been. Well, you can now, because there's a nice tarp footprint there. So, yeah, a little bit different than this morning, wasn't it? Just a couple hours later, and the snow's well and truly come on now. And I need to get back to the car and get off these roads quickly as possible. What a great way. Oh, my camera's all fogging up. What a great way to end a 24-hour session walking back in the light snow. I think it's amazing. I love it. And I'm really pleased that I decided to come out yesterday and do what I'm doing. It isn't that cold really. I'm actually quite warm in all this gear that I've got on, unsurprisingly. I have had to take some of it off before I set off walking because I'd overheat. But yeah, got to find my way back now. Battery's getting low. So if anything else interesting happens on the way back, I'll film it. Surprised I haven't seen any deer. Mind you, with the National Trust working in here yesterday, maybe I'm not so surprised. And me waffling to the camera. Yeah. Happy.
This is not the first time that I've stood at this gate and wished you all a Happy New Year. So from me, Mafty UK, I wish you all a fortunate and Happy New Year. And remember what I said, if you're feeling it, get out in it. I couldn't tell you how exhilarated I am to be out in the snow today. I know I'm going home, but I would wish I was actually staying out another night. But I've not got the provisions, not got any food, and I can't go around killing livestock just for one night. So thank you very much for your support throughout the year. Welcome to the new subscribers. I hope you find my channel interesting. It is different. I'm not selling anything, I'm not plugging anything. It's just me being me, and thank you for staying with me. Thank you for my long-term subscribers as well. I know you let me know that you've been around a while, and genuinely I so much appreciate it. But until the next time, let me enjoy the final walk down to the car, and let's get out of here. Thank you very much. Bye bye.